Now, doctors, clinical officers and nurses will have to wait a little longer for their unpaid allowances. The Council of Governors says county governments do not have extra allocations within their budgets in the current financial year. The Senate is required to approve the allocation that has already been provided for within the national government supplementary budget. However, the Senate is on recess until the 13th of June. The Council of Governors is now petitioning the Senate to reconvene urgently to approve this allocation.
The strike is hereby called off.
In mid-March, Kenyan doctors ended a 100-day strike over pay and working conditions after striking a return-to-work formula with the national government and county governments. Under the deal, counties were to receive an additional allocation of 1.5 billion shillings for the half-year implementation through the National Treasury. This was to cushion counties during the transitional phase of implementation of the doctors' return-to-work formula. In a statement sent to newsrooms, the Council of Governors says though the allocation has already been provided for within the national government supplementary budget, the allocation has not reached the county government's accounts since the Senate must approve allocations for the counties to draw the funds. Doctors, clinical officers and nurses in at least 20 counties are on go-slow, demanding over 3 months unpaid allowances and salary arrears.
Walisema kwamba walikuwa nangojea president atoe directive, andike barua, akaandika akatoa, na bado sasa hatujapata mishahara.
We see a lack of goodwill from the county governments in the implementation of the return to work formula. A good example is the lack of payment of arrears and salaries which were accrued from December last year.
Speaking to KTN News on phone, Senate Speaker Ekwe Ethuro says the Senate Committee on Finance, Commerce and Budget, led by Bill Okero, is seized of the matter. However, the Senate is on a long break and will reconvene on June 13th. Between now and that June date, however, if petitioned, the Senate can reconvene for a special sitting to tackle an issue of national interest. The Council of Governors is now urging the Senate to consider the go-slow as an issue of national interest by reconvening urgently to approve the allocation. Apart from doctors, the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers says their members in counties have not been paid emergency call allowances. In Nyeri, the Kenya National Union of Nurses wants the government to employ more nurses and promote others. The Council of Governors says the National Treasury authorized the Ministry of Health to incur expense through the supplementary budget worth 1.6 billion shillings. The money was to be disbursed to counties to cater for the negotiated health workers and clinical officers allowances for the first phase of implementation with effect from 1st January 2017. But this supplementary allocation must be approved by the Senate through an amendment to the County Allocation Revenue Act of 2016. The funds cannot be disbursed to counties until the Senate meets to agree on their changes. Senate Speaker Ekwe Ethuro expressed optimism that once the Senate reconvenes and members make their input, the National Assembly will approve the changes. Treasury has allocated 3.09 billion shillings to pay the allowances from January to June. Treasury has allocated 3.09 billion shillings to pay the allowances from January to June. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.